Hello and welcome back to a special Good Game Nation episode where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Sam and I'm here with Preston. Preston, say hello.
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 Welcome back, everybody. Like Sam said, we do have a special one today. We asked for it, and you guys have provided us with it. This is the community decklist video.
Ooh, the community deck list videos. First, thank you guys so much for sending the decks. We sent a new one out, so if you want to be in the next time we do this video, hopefully soon, we will be pulling from that one. This is just the first one. We had 2 posts, so we're going to look at 2 decks today. So shout out Cameron for the Kaido list and Solomon for the Luffy list. I'm sorry if I butchered that.
Sorry, Solomon.
Sorry. And you might have butchered it again. Why would you do that? Oh no.
I had to give it my best try. That's all we
Well,
can in here.
our friend Solomon did send us this Luffy list.
Yes.
Preston, what did you are our Luffy expert, our red expert. What is something that you looked at versus other lists that excited you that was different?
So this deck is a very tight and I feel like going to be a very consistent list. Running 4 counts on everything mean like gives me the idea that I know the like 13 or 14 cards that I want to see, and I'm gonna try to see them every time. So a 4 count list is very tight, I think. It begs me to think of consistency when I see it. So if you're able to hit your Namis into stuff, there's only a few cards I think Nami bricks on. So there is a chance of missing Nami in this build. Pretty significant chance. But other than that, 4 Shanks is pretty heavy. Uh, I feel like it could get a little bit bulky, but it's spread out nicely. A lot of the red decks that are being played right now are super aggressive, low count, like low cost decks. And
Mm-hmm.
this is a little bit of a slower deck that's going to be a little bit more control-y. It has a little bit of everything, which should lead to a more consistent play in a red deck that in any red deck that's getting outclassed right now by the heavy control of Doflamingo.
Goodness, did you have a war flashback right there? Oh my.
Ugh,
You know,
he's everywhere.
yeah, there's a lot of blue here in California.
Hmm.
The first thing that I think meta wise is we are definitely prepared for our worst matchup or what we are seeing a lot in our locals, which I'm guessing is Kid. We see the 4 jet pistols and then the Otamas and the 2 splashes of the loss, which is does the same thing that Otama does. So we have more options to remove 8Ks, and Law is or Kid is the most prevalent 8K, which is also probably the worst matchup for this deck. So this builder and list is more prepared to deal with that. That is a point for sure. I actually prefer the mid-rangey red decks. I think the ones with Brooks and all the minuses that curve with Yasop and Ben Beckham's, they tend to do better in longer tournaments. So I cater to this one as well personally. And I like the red curve. I like the curve of Nami or Nico Robin into Luffy into Ben into Shanks. I think that's a really nice curve. And it comparing to like blue or maybe not, maybe blue's the wrong one, but in comparing it to the other colors, this curve is stronger as well. It's 9 into 10. The only thing that really hits higher is the Kaido. So I really into this curve, and also Bartholomew. He is the wild card in this deck for me. He is if he can survive 1 or 2 extra attacks due to his power increase, that's a game winner right there. I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you're talking about like outlasting with power, this deck definitely has a good top end with Ben and Shanks. Those that 7 drop 9K vanilla and the 9 drop 10K Shanks are definitely gonna help you get over green. If you're worried about Kid, this deck is taking care of a nasty kid that sits on the board all day and makes everyone's day terrible. You can beat him with power, you can beat him with a combo. Uh, it's actually pretty nice to see also. And yeah, Bartolomeo is a lifesaver in this deck. If you're able to get him up to his full, it's like a 5K, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, full 5K, that's easily defendable. That's as defendable as your leader on the character side. So you're blocking an attack away from leader. If you choose to save him, it should be a pretty cheap save.
Hmm.
Unlike Chopper, like when you block with Chopper, you expect it to go. You're not trying to save a Chopper, but you could try to save Bartolomeo and end up with a blocker next turn
Yeah.
that they have to go through again.
Yep.
So that really could change a game in a lot of ways, especially with the amount of 2Ks you're running. You're running a decent amount. I think it's 12.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a decent amount.
Yeah, I'm into this list. I'm excited to get into it further, but we're gonna take a look at the next list, and this
Yeah.
one is a Kaido list. We had posted a Kaido list. I had posted a Kaido list really recently, and the takeaway here is the top line is exactly the same. Queen, actually, ulti on the character cards. It's a nice string blend, and I like it.
Yeah, when you're playing purple right now, this is kind of your end game also. In my opinion, kings can float a little bit more. I wouldn't be hard set on a 4-2. And I think that's just meta dependent. If your meta is leaning towards a lot more weenies, and you could play more 7 drops. But I think you had a great opinion on 6 drop king on a flow to get a 6 drop king out. That was like really impressive.
Oh yeah, you can get it on turn three if you roll Onigashima or ulti. You turn one done, turn two, three, and if you can ramp that one turn, king on that third turn, killing your opponent's strong character, it's actually almost game ending. It's very hard to come back from that, and if you just have another one or two big drops, Kaido kind of just wins. So that's just been Kaido in most tournaments. If you can pull the Onigashima or not. In best of one formats, Kaido's a little tough to play, I think, because you could have a bad showing or you could have a great showing, and sometimes it's not up to the pilot. That's probably the one thing that's really good about this deck, and the one thing that's really bad about it.
Yeah. Um, but I think that that combo is really sick, and it absolutely would destroy me, and I would be tilted the rest of that match if I play Nico. The next turn you play King, kill
Yeah,
my Nico,
yeah,
and then I have to get over a 7 drop or a 7,000 power
yeah.
attacker when I just lost my main force. Like I end up playing Luffy the next turn and having to go into your rested King
Yeah.
on my rush attack. And that just, in my mind, feels sad because he's easily defendable at 7K also.
Sure.
Um, Another note is in the video, Cameron mentions that he would take out one of the 9 drop Kaidos. He said it was a last minute addition and he felt like it clogged up his hand. I believe that's, I might be paraphrasing or misremembering, but in my opinion, I would take out a 10K. I don't like the 10K. I think the last you should never get into a position where you need to play the 10K, and the 9K just feels so much better. You're reducing less on, so it feels like you can get back faster. A -5 when you have an Onigashima on board and you're drawing 2 per turn anyways, uh, only sets you back 1 turn because that next turn you're back up to full. KOing a 6 drop, so you're again focusing down. Like let's say we're playing against Luffy, all but 2 cards you're hitting, and you could target the blocker if it's menacing. Probably don't need to, but you could. You're targeting maybe the Luffy, so that they don't have their strong attacker to be able to aggress against this Kaido, and then he's having rush on that turn also. I think I would play 3 of these and 2 of the 10 drop. Um, just in my opinion, I feel like that curve feels better, that flow feels better. And I honestly, I don't want to play the 10 drop. Yes, he has more power. When he hits the board, your opponent's going to have to fight really hard to get back up. But -6, it's a turn and a half to get back up to full. and you also lose your board presence. So if you have a decent board presence, it's just a minus for you. If you're playing it from behind, you're already losing. So is this really going to help? They can just go into leader a couple times and you killed your own blockers or whatever. So I'm not a fan. Um, I'm not a fan.
That's all. Those are all fair statements. My other thought into the 9 versus 10 drop would be when I saw the list, the first thing I wanted to pick out were the differences because there's so many similarities. We play, I think it's just 7 or 9 cards that are different here. So the differences are the Black Maria and the Thunder Balga. So those two to me scream board presence. I preferred the extra the 2K counters. I was playing the 1 drop just strictly for that, and I was playing Sasaki as well for the 2K. I preferred the hand presence just so I had more opportunities to play the 10 drop if I wanted to. I could sacrifice my board the turn before, and if they had 1 or 2 guys on board and I played the Kaido, that's still pretty decent value for a 10 drop at 12K. And then I had the 2Ks extra in my hand to defend the next turn because that was how I was defending. So I would agree with that as well. I think if we're going to cut one of these Kaidos because of Clunk or because of XXX reasons, I think the 10 drop Kaido makes more sense for this specific list as well. I think when the Shanks deck comes out, it's a very easy swap between Black Maria and Uda. I think Uda just slides right in here and you probably take out the other 10 drop Kaidos for Bullet, I'm guessing. So it's going to swap out for those cards anyway. But yeah, I think this deck's gonna be really interesting when that Shanks deck comes out because I feel like it's those cards are substitutes for those nastier KO cards.
Yeah, and I agree. Black Maria is a great substitute for the Uda from the Shank starter deck. I think it's a great addition for that mid-game blocking ability. I think, a good buffer between your 2 drops and your queens.
Yeah,
It's a nice ad. I do think the Uda probably does it better.
yeah,
Um,
she's a great card.
but we just can't use it because it's never gonna freaking come out in the US.
Oh,
It's coming out so slow, and I have to go look at Japan's like release time to see if it was
I
similar.
swear it was right away. Like
Oh, so much
I
faster.
was seeing Bullet like the next week after the game came out. I swear I was.
Yeah, I know.
Gross. It
But
was not fun for Japan. I bet.
yeah, I know. But
No.
again, I think the Blast Breath and the Thunder Baguas are pretty standard on that 4-2 count also. I feel like I remember Japan playing a strong 4-2 count
Yeah.
um, through their whole meta, or at least towards the end. Because you can't deny the Thunder Bagua. It's just a really good card to play into.
Yeah. Like I said, it's you. I think when it comes to building Kaido instead of meta viewing, it's more preference viewing. And I think this player prefers the board presence. You play these cards, you play Thunderbaga, and we were seeing lists with just blast breaths, and that's the version with more 2K combos. But so we're forcing board presence here. So when you play a list like this, you want to have a stricter board presence. So just keep that in mind when you have the 10 drop in hand. You can't just always play that guy willy nilly.
Absolutely.
And that's the 2 decks that we got.
Yeah, I'm super
Ooh.
excited that we got some submissions. If you want to be in the next one, the community post is up. We're already getting some traction, so thank you for that. If you're watching this now, thank you for submitting. The next one should be in a couple weeks, I think. I think we'll do them every 2 weeks. What do you think?
I think 2 weeks is nice. When we follow it
Yeah.
up with a community deck match, it should be
Ooh.
live now as well. There's a community post. I don't know who's playing what yet. We're gonna do a flip of the coin off camera so no one knows, and just vote on which deck do you think's gonna win. Then the loser will get a punishment. We don't know the punishment yet, but we're gonna make it fun. It's gonna be it's good.
I'm
Oh,
so bad at card games. I don't know why I do this.
it's fun. It's fun. It's fun.
It's so fun.
But thank you guys so much. If you are still here watching this, please do all the YouTube things like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Deuces.